Eye pattern diagram for life coaching. When people think about their thoughts and experiences, they tend to move their eyes in certain ways. In NLP, these eye movements are described as eye patterns or eye accessing cues. Practicing our sensory acuity by closely monitoring the eye patterns of the person we're communicating with can provide useful clues as to how that person is thinking from moment to moment. We learned in the section on communication styles about the representational systems that we use to code and store our thoughts about the world. We also learned that when we describe our experience of the world, the words that we use, predicates, are influenced by those representational systems and thus can reveal our preferred representational system. When we listen to the words a person uses, we are using our auditory input channel or taking the input auditorily. Our eye patterns are also linked to our representational systems and thus provide a second mechanism through our visual input channel, our eyes. A way to gather useful data about a person's representations are experience and how they go about retrieving those representations or their memories when required. Eye accessing cues. The eye pattern diagram represents the eye patterns of a normal, organised or a normally wired right-handed person. By normally organised or normally wired, we mean that the person is not reverse wired or reverse organised, which will be covered in more detail later. For simplicity, we'll give the normally organised right-handed person a name by which we will refer to him subsequently as Jim. When we think about things visually, or make pictures if you prefer, our eyes tend to move upward. When Jim looks upward and to his left or to the right as you look at him, he is most likely to be remembering pictures of things he has seen before. In NLP, this is described as accessing visual remembered or visual recall, VR. Conversely, when Jim looks up and to his right or to the left as you look at him, he is most likely to be accessing visual construct and constructing pictures of things he has never seen before, imagining how something could look. When people think about things auditorily, i.e. sounds including spoken words, their eyes will tend to look left and right as they look towards one ear or the other of their eyes, may move rapidly from ear to ear. When Jim looks towards his left ear to the right as you look at him, he is most likely to be accessing auditory recall and remembering sounds he has heard before. Conversely, when Jim looks towards his right ear to the left as you will be looking at him, he is most likely to be accessing auditory construct and thus imagining or constructing sounds he has never heard before. In the lower quadrant, Jim has kinesthetic on his right and auditory digital on his left. When Jim looks down and to his left, he is most likely accessing the auditory digital channel, the channel in which he hears the words he says to himself inside his own mind, or, if you prefer, hears his own thoughts. This may look, sound, feel unusual in written form, but it's perfectly natural and something most people do all the time. At last but not least, when Jim looks down and to his right or to the left as you look at him, he is most likely accessing kinesthetic, his feelings.